Welcome back to the Weekly Buzz, everybody. I'm Chris Knight from the Counseling Center.
It's me, Didi, again.
Glad you guys could all join us. As you can see, it's just Didi and I again. Everybody else is home for the holidays, but we're recording to you live from Sarek Hall here on Defiance College campus.
Yeah, so, it's holidays. Everybody's going home for the holidays and seeing their family. So, we're going to keep bringing you guys more episodes and hope y'all all tune in.
Last week, we started to talk about this concept of joy and how do we bring more joy or get more joy into our lives, especially around the holiday season. But this is something that I think we can all work towards throughout the whole year is how do we become more joyful people? I hear students ask me that all the time in my office. So that's kind of what we want to begin to continue exploring is how do we experience more joy in our lives?
Yeah, so I feel like the start of experiencing more joy in your life is probably slowing down.
Yeah, that is the thing we're going to talk about today is how do we start to slow down to experience and allow ourselves to have more joy in our lives.
Yeah.
I don't know about most of you all, but this time of year, even though we get a little time off around the holidays, it seems like my schedule just gets more full.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we're supposed to be on break and, enjoying that, time to ourselves. And now we're every day packed from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep with no break in between.
Yeah. I think, for me, it's all those things that maybe I put off during, when students are here and now all the things, that I probably really didn't want to do to begin with, but now all of a sudden I don't have a good excuse not to get them done.
It's always sad.
For students, one of the things I hear them talk about is I got work obligations. This is my chance to go home, make a few dollars so that I can pay that spring tuition bill or just have money to come back and survive during that spring semester. There's tons of family obligations that students are kind of, pulled in different directions with, more get-togethers, holiday parties, chores around the house, just lots of things from family and friends that, demands one time and attention.
Yeah, and it's important to be able to slow down from those things and take time for yourself to enjoy your holiday.
Yeah, so we're going to give you guys some tips on how do I start to slow down this holiday season, right?
Yep.
One of the first things we're going to talk about, because I know lots of you guys have jobs, right?
Yes.
Is to start thinking about how much do I really need to work over this holiday season? What's the dollar amount? Or sometimes it's helpful to kind of break that down. Do I need to earn a certain amount per week or a certain amount by the time break's over? How much do I really need? Because when I do that with a lot of students in my office, sometimes they find that number is actually a little bit more manageable than what they thought. And maybe I don't need to work every day during the holiday season.
Yeah, like maybe you don't need to be there freaking Sunday to Saturday.
Right.
Maybe you only need to be there 3 days a week, 2 days a week. And
I don't have to pick up doubles most every day.
Yeah, you don't need to be there for 12, 14 hours.
Yep. So sometimes it's just really kind of understanding what is that dollar amount that I need, and kind of coming up with a plan. So, okay, maybe I need to earn $200-300 each week. So what does that equate to? Maybe I need to work 3 shifts this week. Oh, well, that's not every day. Or maybe I got to work even 5 or 6 days, but I do get 1 day off per week.
Yes. So, take that time off. It doesn't have to be 1 day. It can be 2 days or it could be 3 days, It's important to take the time that you need out of your day or out of your break to be able to decompress and slow down.
One of the traps I see students fall into, it's beyond just, and I get into it too, right? When we get overloaded with extra, especially work duties around the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever get those phone calls that you dread from your boss that says, hey, can you come pick up that extra shift, Didi?
Yes. It's already happened.
It's already happened?
It's already happened.
I hear students talk about it all the time. As soon as I get home from work, right, my summer boss knows that I'm home and the phone just starts ringing.
I know. I always ask, am I getting paid time and a half for this?
Does the math work out, right? You're going to pay, show me the money, right? If I'm getting paid time and a half, maybe I'll do it.
Like, do I want to be here? Like, are you like, I don't want to be here for $40 an hour. Like, let me be there for like 16, 17,
I remember those days.
Yeah.
So, okay, it makes sense, right? Sometimes we do that, the mental calculus, and it's like, okay, for double time or time and a half, I'm in.
Yeah.
But giving, again, it comes back to knowing that number. Am I okay with where I'm at? Do I need that shift? And if I don't need it, maybe I give myself permission not to go in. It's not our responsibility to, to save the company or to bail out my coworkers.
Yeah, even though it may feel that way, that's not always completely your responsibility. It doesn't always fall on you.
It's about taking care of ourselves, and sometimes we need that downtime.
Yeah, because that company or that job, it'll survive. It'll be there.
It probably will.
Yeah, chances are because you didn't go to work for 4 hours just one day, the company's not going to shut down and explode.
Lowe's is still going to be there if you don't show up?
Yes, it's still going to be there, and they're going to be just fine.
Probably. Right, and that kind of feeds right into our second tip is, giving yourself permission to say no to picking up some additional tasks.
Yes, it's okay to say no. Just because you say no, me and Mr. Crystal talked about this a little bit off the air. Just because someone says no, it's not, going to let them down, or it's not, you being rude to them or disappointing them. It's okay to be able to take that time for yourself and, say no.
But you know what? Because as we were talking off air, one of the things you experienced was, it's not just like a task, but again, it's just the volume of demands on my time. Maybe it's from family, from friends, and the worst is I had something else planned that maybe I was really kind of looking forward to, but now I don't want to let my family down, or my friends down, or my coworkers down. But maybe it's not necessarily total no, but maybe it's, thinking about, Dr. Mankiw says how might we, right? So maybe it's, gosh, I don't want to do this right now, or I can't do this right now because I had this other thing planned. I'll tell you what though, maybe we could go do holiday lights tomorrow night. Would that be okay? Or, kind of working with that person to kind of find some way that I can still meet their needs, but yet I still get my needs met too. Because it's about recognizing kind of, I'm just as important, and my own kind of self, whether it's self-worth or that time off to be able to recharge is just as important as their needs, the people around me's needs.
Yeah, because we can get to it, just maybe not always at that specific time.
Yeah. So, kind of be intentional about how I fill that time and space, right? And that's going to be the last one that we talk about, but I don't want to jump there quite yet. The other one it's a trap I see so many students fall into. It is, and I'm so guilty of it too, not just students, adults, right? That I am so caught up in all those things that I know need to get done, that I want to get done, right? And there's 6 or 7 of them out there kind of floating around in my brain, that when I get that moment of downtime, I don't get to experience it, right? The joyfulness of just being in the moment, because I'm thinking about all those other things that I have to get done.
Yeah, it's so important to be in the moment whenever you're experiencing joy, because if you're not in the moment and you're focused on everything else, you're not focused on that joy. You're not focused on the feeling that you're enjoying where you are in life right now.
So, part of it is, taking small breaks, right? Even if it's 15, 20, 30 minutes breaks, getting yourself schedule that downtime, but then allowing yourself to be present, whatever it is. Maybe it's watching a movie, doing some cooking. We're going to talk about that just in a minute, Dee Dee, because I know that's one of your favorites, but allowing yourself to really, really be present in that moment. And sometimes that means accepting that, gosh, there are things that, I really probably should be doing right now, but it's okay. They're going to be there when I get done.
Yeah.
One of the other kind of tricks is trying to avoid that trap of the catastrophic thought, right? Of what happens if I don't do those 6 things that, I think I really need to get done. What's the worst really that's going to happen?
Yeah,
for most of the time, right?
You put it into perspective, like you're saying, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is you don't finish it all today, but at least you started. Now you only have half the work to do next time.
I don't know about you guys, but it's a really, it's not an easy leap for most of us as we think about all those things that I need to get done and the urgency of it, right? That we feel, but it's more of a feeling than really kind of a fact. If I don't, get that little project done, I'm probably not going to be living under a train bridge in a cardboard box. I'm probably going to be okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be that drastic.
Probably not going to be that drastic.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing to really keep in mind is that when we're present, right, and we allow ourselves to experience the moment, to experience a little bit of joy from whatever it is that we're doing, it's kind of like we're recharging our batteries, like we're investing in ourselves so that I actually can do all those things that I need to get done.
Yes.
Right?
And it's for me, whenever I want to recharge my batteries, I'm pretty serious about it. I take a lot of time out of my day to do that. I'm pretty like, and when I say that, I mean I'm being intentional about it. Like I love to cook and I love to watch movies, so I'm gonna find me, some good movies to watch and nice recipes to cook because I don't know, that's what recharges my batteries and like that's how I make the most of my downtime. It's how I bring myself joy.
And that's, really kind of what this last tip or trick is, being intentional about not just slowing down, but how do I fill that downtime?
Yeah, and I feel like to feed into that, another thing with being intentional is to be able to unplug.
Oh, yeah. Think about, oftentimes we get that downtime and sometimes, I kind of, if I had 2 hours of a downtime and I fill it with sometimes those things that maybe don't always bring me a ton of energy or peace, that I've just kind of like, I feel gross afterwards, right? Maybe I spent too much time scrolling or I just didn't do the things that I really kind of maybe needed to.
Yeah. So
What are those things? We'll have those, right? Those things that kind of drain us a little bit, but maybe there's those things that kind of fill us up and bring us peace and energy. What are those things for you? You said cooking.
Oh yeah, cooking, movies. I really like to go for walks, mainly with my dog. He'll go for walks all day.
I'm a big believer in that. Nature is
Yes.
huge.
He loves the nature reserve, but the only thing that is bad about it is that he'll stop and sniff every single tree.
He's slowing you down. He's helping you to experience more joy in your life because he's sniffing the tree.
I know. I don't mind it, but I thought it was so hilarious. He'll stop and sniff every tree on the way there and the way back.
I think, nature, and we're going to do a whole episode or two really kind of on, kind of nature and self-care because that is so critical for many of us. Being able to get outside and experience nature is huge.
Yeah.
But, just really think about those things, right? What do I do that maybe kind of fills me up a little bit and kind of recharges me, and being able to be present, right? And you didn't exactly say it, but I'm going to guess, right? When you are out in nature, you're walking Chaco, it's the senses, right? You check in with all of your senses.
yes.
I can, think about, what do I hear? What do I smell?
I know. What do you see? Like, it's beautiful. Like, you see things, you feel things, you hear things that you don't get to experience every single day. And for me, that just kind of unlocks a part of that creativity in my brain, I guess. Because when I'm out there, sometimes I used to like to draw it. So I used to like to draw what I saw on my walks and everything, which used to bring me a lot of peace when I was a lot younger. It was a hobby I used to have.
You're cheating. You're jumping ahead a little bit because we're going to talk about creating something as a way to really, is a great way to fill your time. That downtime is being able to create. But before that, you're going to back up. Like, engaging all of your senses is a really great way to help us to slow down and be present in that moment. When I'm with my friends, my loved ones, whatever it is that I'm doing, and I really want to, be engaged with them. You mentioned unplugging. I think that's really critical too, and I think it's something I don't know about you guys, but I kind of suck at sometimes.
Oh no, I do too. Sometimes I get to scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and you find something funny you're looking at, and now you're scrolling for 45 minutes, an hour and a half, and you're like, what did I just spend my day doing?
Right. I get like 20 minutes, or maybe I'm, spend an hour at night and we're going to watch a TV show with my family or something. And the next thing I know, like, we're watching the show, but we're all kind of on our phones too, scrolling.
Yeah.
Make the most of that. And sometimes it is unplugging a little bit. How do you unplug? What's the tip?
Oh, I just put my phone in the other room.
See, I got to do the same thing, and I'm really bad at it. But if I got that thing with me, I'm probably, it's too tempting to kind of hit the scroll button.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll even take off the watch. I'll take off the Apple Watch, take off the phone, and I'll put it on a charge in the other room, and I'll sit down and cook and watch a movie and do whatever it is I want to do. And I feel so relaxed, so relieved. Like,
really helps us to be present
like at
in the
first
moment and with those
jumpy.
people that we're around.
Yeah, but after a while, you get used to that and you really enjoy that feeling.
So I'm going to skip back to the next tip, right? It's creating something, being able to create. What are the things you like to create?
Oh, well, I love to create good food. I don't know. Other than that, I love to create.
You just off air, we were talking piano. Like you play the piano, right?
yeah.
So
Love to
sometimes
create
it
music.
can be cooking, it can be making music, or just playing an instrument. I think we definitely call that creativity.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of take it for granted. I don't always think of it as creativity, but when you break it down, I mean, it is. It is. It's definitely a hobby I used to have.
It's something you can really lose yourself in, and it helps us, to really experience joy and kind of be present.
It does. It does. I think it's important to be able to rediscover those hobbies that you used to have, or those things that.
See, you
wake
are
up the
cheating. You jumped right
creativity.
ahead.
Oh,
Rediscovering an old hobby, right? So for you, it was like playing the piano.
yeah, like playing the piano, creating that music, or drawing the nature I used to see with chalk. I used to love doing that.
Yep. So giving yourself permission to, maybe rediscover an old hobby this holiday season, create something, maybe to unplug, spend time with family and friends, but don't pack it too full.
Yeah, yeah. Don't pack it too full. Just do what you enjoy in the moment.
All right, so those are some really quick tips to help you to slow down and experience a little bit more joy this holiday season. I'm going to recap them really quick, and then we're going to shift some gears, right? So remember, think about how much work do I really need to do? Schedule yourself some time off, especially maybe transition times. Think about, can I take a day or two as I come home from college, or maybe right before I'm going back? So how much do I really need to work? Remind yourself it's okay to maybe say no to not picking up those additional tasks, or even request from friends, right?
Yes.
Don't
yeah.
pack your schedule too doggone full,
It's okay to say no to those things.
right? Also, that accepting that there are just things in my life that probably aren't going to get done.
Yeah, and if you don't do them, it's not the end of the world. There will always be more
There'll be time for them.
to figure it out and get it done.
The last one is be intentional about how you fill that downtime, right? Think about those things that really kind of fill you up, that leave you a sense of peace and energy, and to really be present in the moment as we go through those, right? So
Yes.
unplug your phones, create something, or rediscover an old hobby.
Yes, those are all important.
All right,
But slow down.
go ahead.
So, my favorite part of the episode, we'll take a brief pause and we'll be right back with our top 5 for this week.
All right, we'll see you in a second, guys. Welcome back to the Weekly Buzz, everybody. All right, it is Dee Dee's favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, it's our top 5 this week. And this week, our top 5 is going to be Christmas treats that you'll enjoy around the holidays or around this time.
All right, who doesn't like a good Christmas sweet?
Yeah, who doesn't? I mean, all of us love sweets a little bit. I'm not that big of a sweets person, but there are some things that I just can't turn down.
I'm with you. I'm a little bit more of a savory guy, but
Yeah,
it's all good.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to start off with my number 5 kind of sweet treat. I would go peanut brittle. It's a little old school, but I like it just a little bit.
It's
Peanut
like a
brittle.
classic
Peanut
for
brittle.
me. I love peanut brittle.
It is an old time classic, but it's good.
Stuck in your teeth, but it's okay. That's a fun part too. Trying to get it out of there. My number 5 was Snickerdoodle cookies. I love Snickerdoodle cookies.
Holiday classic, good any time of year, but especially hits the spot around the holiday
'Cause
times.
then you can decorate them a little bit. Anything you want to do to them.
Those are classic, very good.
Yeah.
All right, my number 4. And again, this is kind of I guess it's an old school one, but I do like them. Those little, I don't know what you call them for sure. Like they're little semicircle peppermint gummies.
Yes,
Like,
man.
or spearmint, not the peppermint ones, not the red ones. I like the green ones.
Yeah, they used to give those to us all the time in school growing up.
Maybe get something with things that get stuck in your teeth, because those get stuck in your teeth too.
Yeah, they do, but
they're
it's
good.
It's one of the best parts because then it's in there a little bit. You just enjoy that.
All right. What's your next
4
one?
for me is ginger snaps or like gingerbread cookies. I love
See?
those.
I'm surprised because it seems like that's not something a lot of young folks gravitate towards, but the ginger snaps are pretty tasty.
I know my friends always call me old for that, but it's okay.
It's an
I'm
old
st- I'm
kind
gonna
of
eat 'em-
thing.
I'm gonna eat 'em
You're an
anyway.
old soul. That's all
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna
We're
eat 'em
going to
anyway.
let it go.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3. I like, and this is going to be a little specific, but have you ever had those pretzels that are kind of dipped in dark chocolate, but then they got the little peppermint, like the candy,
Yes.
crushed up candy canes?
Yes. I feel like those are kind of hard to find sometimes. Maybe it's because they sell out, or maybe it's because they're not.
Right. Sometimes you got to go to a specialty shop to
Yeah.
get them, but I don't know. You get the sweet and you get the salty in there too. Those are pretty tasty. I do like those.
Yeah, I agree. Those are good. My number 3 was candy canes, but not
Candy
just
canes.
peppermint. Like there's Jolly Rancher and there's like Sweets Heart or Skittles flavored candy canes. I love those.
Candy canes have gone gourmet.
They have. There's chocolate candy canes now.
Shout out to Spangler Candy Company, just about 20 minutes from here. They're the ones that make all the candy canes. Have you been there?
No, I haven't. That sounds amazing though.
It is pretty cool. They got a cool museum that they just put in. They used to, you could take a tour of the factory, which was really neat. But big shout out to Spangler Candy.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. We gotta go check that out.
You should go check it out. It's pretty neat.
What's your number 2?
My number 2. It's kind of like the last one. It is dark chocolate peppermint bark.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
I like the dark chocolate. Don't give me no milk chocolate, but that peppermint bark, that is good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's extremely popular. You can probably find that in Walmart or Kroger right now.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves that stuff. My number 2 is eggnog.
Okay. I have kind of some strong feelings about eggnog. I do not like it, not one bit, but you can have
I
mine.
feel like eggnog, it's a very specific thing. Like there's a specific group of people that just love eggnog.
So my stomach's just kind of turning even talking about it right now.
I feel like the other side of that is that people love apple cider or warm apple cider. But I
Yeah,
don't
that's totally
like apple
respectable.
cider.
Totally respectable.
I don't like apple cider at all.
All right, so we're going to disagree on that. I'll have your cider. You have my eggnog.
Yeah, I agree to that.
All right, the last one. Homemade Christmas cookies. You cannot go wrong with
Yes.
homemade decorated Christmas
That's
cookies.
my number 1 as well.
Right? So how did you end up with that one?
I ended up with that one because it was always something I enjoyed doing growing up. I didn't believe in Santa Claus, but my mom thought I did. So we would do the decorated Christmas cookies every year, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're doing Christmas cookies for Santa." I'm like, "Nope,
Yep.
these are for you." These are for you.
You knew there was no such thing as Santa.
Yes, we didn't have a chimney. Like we were out there, living in Gulfport. I'm like, "There's no chimney. Santa Claus isn't coming in the chimney." So,
I just have good memories decorating Christmas cookies with the kids. So
the best memories come from that.
I think it just makes them taste better.
It does. It does. I love that. And you can decorate any kind of cookie you want. It doesn't always have to be a sugar cookie. You can decorate any kind of cookie. It's great.
All right, everybody. That's going to wrap it up for the Weekly Buzz this week. Welcome. Here I go again. I am really struggling with an exit. I have got to come up with a better exit. That's going to wrap it up for the Weekly Buzz, everybody. We will see you next week. Listen in, be well, and be joyful this holiday season.
Yeah, thank you all for listening, everybody. See y'all next week.